Hi folks, just a further update from us. Today is Monday the 13th of July. We've just been doing a bit of further work looking at opening in September. Obviously we sent you the message on Thursday about your child's new class teacher. I hope you're all happy with that. We've now had the opportunity to have a real good look at the government guidance, which the most recent one is the guidance on the full opening of schools from September. And I wanted just to give you a quick video to give you an overview of those changes. Realistically for us, because we've been able to set the site up as we have over this point in time, we've been really lucky with our school site. You're not going to see a great deal of change in September. All the things that we've got in place, the children having their own toilets, having hand washing, sanitising in and out, the one-way system, all those things are in place at the moment anyway. And in fact, our steps actually go further than what the government guidance requires in some cases. So we don't necessarily need to provide toilets that are just for that particular class, but we can do that. So that's what we'll continue to do. There won't be any huge change to our processes. The difference really that you'll see is that your child's bubble will not be the 15 that it has been to now. They'll be back in their classes, which is obviously great news for them, great news for the class teacher. They'll have their own class teacher in place. They'll be in their own space, have their own equipment. It will be almost like coming back to school normally, which will be fab. They'll have the same classroom, designated toilets. They'll still have designated play areas as well, so they'll still be kept distant from other different bubbles. But you will also notice some slight tweaks. So things like children will have to face forward in class. We like to work children in groups. We can't do that at the moment. We won't be doing assemblies, for example. But we can move teachers across bubbles as well. So that means that Mrs. Perry can do her intervention work, our TAs can do their one-to-one work, but it also means that we can cover our planning time now for staff, which means that we can open all day on Friday, which is great news for everyone too. The other thing that we'll be putting in is staggered start. So if anybody that's using that at the moment will know that that's a process we've already got in. The difference with that now is that we're going to have a slightly shorter period to get everybody in. The system works, we know it works really well. But we're going to go for a staggered start between 8:30 and 9:20. So your child will be put into a wave. It will be with their brothers and sisters, so you can all come at once. And we're just finalising the details of that now. But we're going to send that out to you tomorrow. So that's Tuesday, the 14th of July. So you can comment on that. If there's any problem, try and let us know. But we can't promise to change because obviously it's quite a big logistical challenge to get all that in place. The things you can do to help us with that though, it's keep you 2 meters distance. It's all marked out around school. Everybody's been so good so far, but that keeps everybody safe. Be on time for your wave. If you are late, it does create a bit of an issue for us getting kids in and out, and particularly on collection. And also, our family's been really good. We said initially for children to be in pushchairs, but our family's been really good at keeping control of children both in and out. So if we're okay with you bringing other children to school with your family as long as you can control them. And I mean that in terms of they're not running around and touching the stuff. As long as you can do that, that's fine. If not, we'll have to have a conversation and see if we can make that better for you guys as well, I guess. There'll be other bits in place. So we'll have materials for the children. They'll have their own desks, their own spaces still. And the other bit that will be slightly different for you guys who haven't been back in school is that we're now ordering dinners a week in advance. Those that have been in school know the drill. With that, it's dead easy. We send you out a Google form, you order your dinners for the week, and then we can have those ready. The reason we do that is we can get the stocks in, we can get the logistics sorted for getting the dinners to the classrooms, and it means that we can just be a little bit tight with all of that. The other difference then is we're going to offer dinners not just for our free school meals, as we have been for now, but we're able to offer it to all children, and there'll be a hot meal offer as well, which is great news for everyone. So if you want to do paid meals from September, then we can. The other thing to say then is that we'll be doing more cleaning. So although children won't be mixing bubbles, they won't be necessarily going into another classroom or using toilet blocks, there'll be deeper cleaning every night. So we've got more staff that are able to do the cleaning in a greater depth. The other ways, so that's the kind of prevention part. If there is then a case where there is an instance of COVID, we're hoping that won't be the case because we've got all those measures in place and it should be really safe. But if there is a case or that your child or you or a member of your household develops symptoms, then we ask you, of course, not to send your child. It's common sense, but obviously we need to be socially responsible at this point in time. But you need to let us know that that's the case. So you let us know that that's the situation. You also need to be ready and willing to have a test. And then also to engage in the track and trace system too. So that's part of the deal, I guess, really. There's a whole different things happen at different points with that. If there's negative tests, the children can return to school. positives, this isolation periods, but we will talk you through all of those if and when it happens. But the kind of principle with that is, please don't send your children if you're at all unsure, and isolate yourself as well. Okay, you can get the test, we can get that really quickly. Those test results coming back within sort of 24 to 48 hours, but it's really critical that we're socially responsible with that. So that's the kind of other caveat with that. We'll talk you through the process if that's a problem. If you are learning at home, or your child's bubble, for example, so if a child in your class's bubble has tested positive, we send that bubble home. So that's kind of how that works. We'll be providing you with the high quality home learning that we've already done, or be signposting you to something of a similar quality. So you will still have access to that whilst you're away. Okay. So then it brings us on to the kind of, you might have heard about some of these parts in the news. So the first bit is that we're back to usual now, back to normal in terms of attendance. So all children are required to attend school in the same way as it would have been before. So that means holiday rules are in place, attendance rules are in place as well. Obviously though, what we understand is that lots of you guys are going through some really tough times. Lots of you have been shielding, lots of your children have got additional needs or things that need extra support or extra care. And we know that you're going to be really anxious about some of these things. So what I would say is, if you are at all anxious about coming back to school, please don't think I'm going to shout at you or to be cross or to kind of strong arm you into it. We're here to help. That's what we stand for. So please do get in touch. If there's anything at all that we can do, please just let me know so that I can have a conversation. We can make those changes, make any adjustments that will hopefully help you to feel better. So it is compulsory attendance, but I want to work with you, not to kind of have to enforce sanctions. That's not how we work. So please do feel open and available to come and talk to us about that. We are going to ask everybody to be in uniform. There's again been a reduction in the kind of strictness around clothes washing. They're now saying that you don't need to wash clothes every day, for example. So we are going to ask for everybody to be back in uniform in September. Again, it signals a return to some sense of normality, a sense of team, a sense of community. We'll be able to do PE, we'll be able to do school trips, and we'll also be sending reader books home again as well. Finally then, and what will be really important for lots of you guys, is that we are hoping to open our before and after school club. We've been contacting lots of people about what hours and things they wanted for that. If you do need before and after school care, even if you don't know exactly what yet, can you let us know? Because we're just starting to get plans in place for that as we speak. The way that that's going to work is, if you're in that, if your children do go to that, they will form a separate new bubble. We'll keep those groups quite small, quite consistent, but it will mean that if your child or a member of that child's class has to isolate, then the rest of the bubble will as well. So it's like an additional risk really for those of you guys who are in that group. But we can provide you with all that detail in the not too distant future once we've got a little bit more detail around how that's going to work for before and after school care. But our anticipation is we're going to open that, if not in the first week, then very, very soon in the autumn term, just as we start to build those things back up again. Okay, so I hope that's been really clear. The new risk assessment will be on the website by the end of the week, but essentially what we're saying is more of the same. Big class bubbles, a few little minor tweaks around that, and again, just keep talking to us, be open and honest with us about what your needs are, what your fears and anxieties are, and we'll continue to work with you. I hope that's been helpful. And yeah, thank you so much for your support as always. I think if you do have a chance to come and see the quality of learning that's happening, the systems that we've got in place, I think you'll be pleased. I know there's been lots of positive feedback. So, but if there's anything at all we can do to help, then please let me know. The other things to say then is there will be some new class teacher transition Zooms at the end of this week. So we've got all our class teachers in place. They'll be setting up Zoom calls for all of you guys on Friday. So you'll be able to meet your new class teachers then. So please do sign up for those if you possibly can. Okay, I may or may not speak to you guys again before summer, but thank you so much as always for your support and your understanding. You've been simply phenomenal through a very, very difficult point. I hope you've enjoyed your reports that are coming out today. And again, you're just a wonderful, wonderful group of people. Thank you so much for your understanding and for your positivity too. Really looking forward to seeing you all back in September. Thanks, guys.